welcome to That's Base. Happy Saturday. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Salvatore, reporting from somewhere underground. We're laughing our way through the end of days, and we're brought to you by Outlaw Streamers, along with our sponsors over at Blood of Tyrants Wines. If you head over to drinkbloodofTyrants.com and use the promo code BASED, like the title of the show, you're going to save 10% off your order at the checkout. They got 2 types of wine, along with the Liquid Freedom energy drink, all of which have been taste tested by yours truly, and they passed the test. Granted, that's not a high standard, but I still recommend you try them because I can save you money and it will make me money. DrinkbloodofTyrants.com. Promo code BASED, BASED, like the title of the show, is going to save you 10% off your order at the checkout on 2 types of wine and the Liquid Freedom energy drink. Mia, would you say I have an affinity for wine? Would you say I'm cultured? You can take that down now. Would you say I'm cultured in the wine game?
I think you're getting there.
Am I? Am I showing improvement? Once upon a time, I could not tell the difference between a $6 bottle of wine from Trader Joe's and an expensive one. And her family has cultured me. Cultured, that's right. I was reverse colonized by her family, and in a good way. So I have learned to appreciate different types of wine. Now, going to wine country for our honeymoon definitely helped. That played a major role. I was able to be like, oh, yeah, I taste the difference now. Her mom taught me, at how old was I? 27? 27 years old, how to drink wine. I had no idea. I had no idea how to drink wine. So did you guys know that when you drink wine, and when you drink Blood of Tyrants wine at drinkbloodofTyrants.com with the promo code BASED, like the title of the show, to save yourself 10% off your order at the checkout, when you drink wine, you're not supposed to...
You're not supposed to drink it out of a thermos?
Leave my mother out of this. When you drink wine, you're not supposed to guzzle it like a beer or a soda or a water. You're supposed to actually let it... You're supposed to take a sip, let it splash on your tongue and your taste buds, and then swallow it. I had no idea. It's so much more. Seriously, try it, and there's no better wine to try it with than Blood of Tyrants. And if you use the promo code BASED, like the title of the show, you'll save 10% off your order. I know all you guys are thinking, wait, Caleb just woke, because I know most of you guys specifically that are listening to the show are like me, and I just gave you free game. I just woke you up to something you had no idea about, and you want to go try it. Well, but since I was nice enough to give you this free game, you should thank me by going to drinkbloodofTyrants.com, using the promo code BASED, like the title of the show, BASED, and saving yourself 10% off your order at the checkout.
Also, another tip for drinking wine: when you're drinking out of the wine glass, you're supposed to hold it by the stem, not by the glass.
Yes.
That warms it up.
Yes, not by the glass. You are certainly not supposed to put it in a coffee cup. I learned that as well. That's another fun thing I learned. Okay, all right. We got a lot to talk about this week, but I want to do something new on the show. I want to add a new segment that won't take long, but it'll be fun. So I've been listening to this podcast by Father Mike Schmitz called The Bible in a Year. And what he does is he goes over small portions of the Bible every single day. It's only 20 minutes. If you haven't listened to it and you want to, it's available for free wherever you get your shows, just like this one. So after you listen to this show, you can turn on The Bible in a Year and get the word. And it's great because he'll read about 10, 12 minutes of the Bible, and then he'll break down what that actually means, what the church's interpretation of it is. And it's really helpful. I really like it. But we're going to start doing something inspired by that. I was at Kohl's the other day, and I found a book on sale for half off called Great American Conspiracies. It's Great American Conspiracies Uncover the Truth. And I figured that we are just going to read one conspiracy out of this book every episode. And we're all going to learn about these things together and all the horrible things that our government's done. I think it's going to be a real fun time. They're only like a page or two long each. This first one here. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start every show like this until we finish this whole 272-page book. All right, the first one here is the Teapot Dome scandal. Mia, have you ever heard of the Teapot Dome scandal? Stockholm Mia, the red face of white supremacy, is with us, as always. So the Teapot Dome scandal was the largest of numerous scandals during the presidency of Warren G. Harding. Had you heard of President Warren G. Harding before?
No.
Most people hadn't. It's okay. Teapot Dome is an oil field reserved for emergency use by the U.S. Navy located on public land in Wyoming. Oil companies and politicians claimed the reserves were not necessary, and the oil companies could supply the Navy in the event of shortages. In 1922, Interior Secretary Albert B. Fall, the Fall guy, accepted $404,000. That's in 1922. That's a lot of money back then. It's a lot of money now. $404,000 in illegal gifts from oil company executives in return for leasing the rights to the oil at Teapot Dome to Mammoth Oil without asking for competitive bids. The leases were legal, but the gifts were not. Fall's attempts to keep the gifts secret failed, and on April 14th, 1922, the Wall Street Journal exposed the bribes. Fall denied the charges, but an investigation revealed a $100,000 no-interest loan in return for leases that Fall had forgotten to cover up. In 1927, the Supreme Court ruled that oil leases had been illegally obtained, and the U.S. Navy regained control of Teapot Dome and other reserves. Fall was found guilty of bribery in 1929, fined $100,000, and sentenced to 1 year in prison. He was the first cabinet member in prison for his actions while in office. President Harding was not aware of the scandal at the time of his death in 1923, but it contributed to his administration being considered one of the most corrupt in history. All right, there it is. That's the first conspiracy. What have we learned? Did you have any takeaways from that you'd like to discuss?
I'm going to be honest, I kind of zoned out.
You zoned out? Corruption runs deep in this country.
Through.
Corruption runs deep in this country. It's not a new thing. It didn't start with the Bidens or the Obamas or the Bushes or the Clintons. It's been going on since every government throughout history is going to be deeply rooted in corruption because it's naturally just human nature. I love how they're like, he wasn't aware of it at the time of his death. Yeah, probably because he had dementia or something like that. Okay. All right, we got a lot to talk about this week. We got the ICE protests all over the country. People big mad at ICE. We have got January 6th pardons. Trump has an interesting idea on how to solve the TikTok crisis. I don't like it. I will tell you why I don't like it. We've got a ban on transgender military members. RFK slashes Democrat senators up. I mean, the guys like Jason Voorhees with some of these videos, the way he just dices these people up. J.D. Vance is the corporate Karen slayer. We get an answer, kind of, on the drone debacle that plagued our headlines for all of December. We debunk some of the lies on Trump's executive orders, and then common sense is back in America, and we'll tell you why. All that and much more. But first off, let's hop into the current state of the left.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
All right, this week in current state of the left. It's going to be hard to top last. It's for reasons you guys don't know. It's going to be really, really hard to top last week's current state of the left. But this week's current state of the left, we have got the mother of the year. She decided to testify in Kansas in front of a council meeting, and this is how it went. Now, you remember what I said on the Wednesday show about how the left just parodies themselves so well? Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead and check what this woman, or check out what this woman says here.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. I am a volunteer with Equality Kansas, but I'm here today on behalf of my family. I'm a mother of 4. I'm a Kansan, and 2 of my children are receiving gender-affirming care. My son has always been the happiest child I've ever known. Since he was a toddler, we called him Sunshine for his infectious joy. However,
probably his real
when he was
name.
10 in 4th grade, that all changed. He began waking up in tears, and I would have to physically carry him into school while he was fighting me to avoid going. That winter, we discovered cuts on his arms and legs. He admitted that he was cutting himself with scissors. We locked up all sharp objects in our house, and still I found cuts. My son admitted that he was going to the restroom at school and cutting himself there. A safety plan was put in place, and still, months later, the school called me and said that they could no longer keep him safe. He was admitted to a psychiatric hospital as a suicide risk. It was the worst feeling as a parent to know that I could not keep my child safe from his
Yeah, I'm
own
sure you had
opinions.
nothing to do with it.
After diagnosis and medications, our son began to recover. We will never forget the day he came home from school and told us he had the best day ever. And it was simply because he asked his class to call him by a new name and told them he was a boy. After his mental health was stabilized, he was
So you
diagnosed
say.
with gender dysphoria. And we sought a doctor who specializes in this care. Today, my son knows who he is.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Before or after? It's okay. 2 out of 4 kids transgenders. Why is it always the blue hair white bitches, Mia? Why is it always the blue hair white bitches? They've got like there's 10,000 so-called trans kids in the United States, and about 8,000 of them belong to the same couple of women, is what it sounds like. It's like 80% of them all belong to like the same 6 women. They all look the same. I'm just saying, I understand that in high school it's a whole different thing because it's like an epidemic in there, or a social contagion. You don't see anyone who's not a far left blue-haired psychopath that has a transgender 10-year-old. I remember I got made fun of for saying that transgender 10-year-olds didn't exist on here, and it went on TikTok. I didn't. The reception was like 70% positive, and then we had a bunch of whack jobs telling me that I didn't know what I was talking about, and that wasn't even happening, because that's always how it goes, right? First off, it's not happening. Then, yeah, it's happening, but here's why it's good. And then, yeah, it's happening, and if you don't accept it, you're a bigoted monster. So we're at the third portion of that, by the way. We're at the third segment of the great gaslighting manual right there. So now we're at the point where if not only do you have to accept it, you have to be a fan of it. Otherwise, you're a bigot. I can't tell if it's parody anymore. I mean, I could tell that wasn't because of how deep she went. But if a blue-haired woman that was that ugly stood up in front of a city council meeting and went, I have 2 transgender kids, I would assume it was some type of YouTube sketch where they were trolling the city council. But it's not. These are real people that we have to interact with every single day. There is a mental health epidemic in this country, and it's being perpetuated, and the flames are being fanned by abusive parents. These people, in my opinion, need to have their children taken from them by the state. Every last one of them. They are criminals. Or at least they should be. Okay, that's enough for current. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this psychopath?
It's pure evil!
I thought you were going to hit him with the proud, ignorant woman side of sound effect. I thought that would be a good one, too. But I don't think she's ignorant. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. I think pure evil might actually be a better sound effect for that one. Anyway, we've got the lead topic coming up next. We're going to talk about the ICE protest. Stay tuned. We will be back in like 2 seconds, okay? 2 seconds. All right, and before we get into our lead topic, big shout out to our sponsors over at Hot Salt, firecracker.farm, not .com, .org, or .net, firecracker.farm, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show, saves you 10% off your order at the checkout with their product, Hot Salt, which is a combination of Mediterranean sea salt, scorpion pepper, Carolina Reaper, and ghost pepper. Firecracker.farm, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show. Going to save you 10% off your order at the checkout. Firecracker Farms hot salt goes great on everything, not just meat. You can put it on French fries. You can put it on margaritas. In fact, I've heard recently that it goes really, really good mixed in with a glass of Liberal Tears. Adds a little bit of saltiness to it. Fantastic. A little bit of spice, though, right? Because they're usually very white and don't know how to cook. Adds a little bit of spice to it. Firecracker.farm, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D. Like the title of the show, it's going to save you 10% off your order at the checkout. Okay, let's talk the lead topic. Mia, I've got a question for you because somebody told me on Facebook that you were going to get deported. So do we have any updates? Have the ICE agents come for you yet? Is there any concern there?
I still here as of today, but it's only a matter of days before I get deported.
It's only a matter of days before that. Yes, they told me that they didn't know what her race was. They looked at her Facebook, or they looked at her picture on my Facebook, and told me she was going to be deported because of who I voted for. So it is only a matter of time. How far back do you think? Because Mia is part Mexican, right? But how far back do you think we would have to go in your lineage to find someone who was not born in the United States? How many generations would we have to go?
2.
2? Was it your grandpa?
3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so your great grandpa then.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought your grandpa was born here. Her grandpa would walk around South Omaha telling Mexicans that we need to build the wall as a Hispanic man himself. Absolute legend. But okay, so let's so you haven't been deported yet. I'm glad. I'm really happy. That's which part of you would they deport only a third of you, or how would that work? What would they do? So like, all right, pick a limb. It's got to go back to Mexico.
I just show them my full German side.
That's right. Let's just show, yeah, because she's also part German, so she could show them that side as well. That's okay. So let's talk about Selena Gomez has gone viral. But before we talk about Selena Gomez, there was a massive rally in my hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. Big shout out to Jacob Wilson, our reporter on the street, who went out and got some of this footage for us. I mean, this was an anti-Trump, pro-illegal immigration protest. And this is massive, guys. Donald Trump, look at this, just a picture. You can pull it up. Look at these numbers. I think Trump is going to be in trouble. This was their big, cute winter boots January 29th protest in Omaha that they had been talking about. Absolutely massive numbers, overwhelming presence. Additional police officers had to be called in just to tame the crowd. I mean, how many people were there? 3 or 4? I can't quite see from where I'm sitting.
There's 3, someone crossing the street, potentially going over there. It might just be going to Target.
They might just be going to Target. Yeah. So we've got at least 3 that we know of for sure. That 4th one could be persuaded to join the cause, but as of right now, we're going to mark down as undecided. So they've got 3 people there. 3 people there. Almost as many. Are those the same 3 people that showed up at Tim Walz's rallies in Omaha? Is that the same ones? Wow, that's they got numbers there, guys. They got big numbers there. But so Selena Gomez was worked up about what's going on with all these deportations. So she did the natural, and it really affected her. She got really emotional and really sad. So she did the natural thing that everyone does when they're sad, which is to grab a camera, record yourself, and then upload that recording of yourself crying. Go ahead and check out this video here.
I wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
So that video was almost immediately removed after she got dunked on, and then she shared a... She shared another post. It was just a black screen that said, apparently it's not okay to show empathy for people. So how much money is she worth? Do you know what her net worth is approximately? It's got to be close to $1 billion.
It's a lot because of her makeup line.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. I mean, let's Google. Can you Google Selena Gomez net worth? I mean, this woman is sitting, she's an American citizen, right? Her parents are American citizens. Your people are us, Selena. Your people are the people that are being killed by these drug cartels trafficking fentanyl over here.
1.3 billion.
1.3 billion. Your people are the ones who are being murdered by illegal immigrants that are convicted of multiple violent crimes and then allowed to not only stay in this country, but continue to roam the streets. Those are your people, Selena. You are an American. We're your people. We're the ones getting fucked over by this. We're the ones who are out driving down the street to work who get rear-ended by somebody who's not in this country legally and has no insurance, then we have to pay to fix the car for something that wasn't our fault. That's who I haven't seen any tears for the people that have overdosed on fentanyl. You know what? You even want to play the our people racial bullshit game, fine. I haven't seen you cry once for the 300,000 missing children, in undocumented children in this country that the Biden administration pissed away. I haven't seen you cry once for the innocent women and children who are being raped and abused by these coyotes and and scumbags that are trafficking them across the border and doing God knows what with them when they get here. But you will cry when the Trump administration says they're going to deport violent criminals and pedophiles who are in this country illegally back to the shitholes they came from. I don't want to hear it. You have more sympathy for pedophiles, rapists, and murderers than you do actual victims. You disgust me. From the bottom of my heart, you disgust me. You're repulsive. You hopped on a bait. You're not actually sad about this. You're sad because you felt like that was going to be the popular thing to do. But guess what, sweetheart? You found out real quick in the comments that the game has changed. People ain't playing that bullshit anymore. And no matter how much the media tries to come out with this full court press and make it seem like these actions of deporting these violent criminals is unpopular, it's not. Because his popularity rating, Trump's approval rating continues to go up as they do this because people want the trash off of our streets. So if you want to side with the rapists, murderers, and pedophiles, by all means, why don't you you've got the money, why don't you hop on a plane and go hang out with them back in Mexico? Is that a fair preposition? Why doesn't she go hang out with them? She obviously prefers them to us. Her people. You said it yourself. Your people. Your people are being deported. Who are your people? If not, you're American, so it's not Mexican. So you identify with something else with these people, right? So what do you identify? Is it the rape, the murder, or the pedophilia? Which one of those are your people? One of them is, because that's who's being deported right now. So I don't know. Whoever those are, I guess those are your people. I guess you identify with those. It's really sad. She was one of my childhood crushes, Selena Gomez. It was Selena Gomez, Carmen from George Lopez, and the odd child was Avril Lavigne when I was younger. It was those two as I got older, though. As you guys can see, I have a little bit of a type with the light-skinned Hispanic girls. Has been my type since about 6th or 7th grade. That's and it still is, obviously. Some things never change. She's politically retarded. That video is one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. But I saw those weight gain photos, and I got to say, guys, she's got the heavies now. She's got the heavies, so we're going to let it slide. What's the head shaking for? What's the head shaking for?
That's because of her lupus.
So yeah, lupus. You mean heroin addiction? That's what I've been told it was. I think you told me that, didn't you? There's some video of her and Justin Bieber walking into a crack house together.
Yeah.
From years ago. So allegedly.
Allegedly.
Politically.
You didn't even play the Justin Bieber sound effect. We had the whole Selena
Justin
Gomez.
Bieber!
Whole Selena Gomez. Maybe she needs to go to church with Justin. If I'm losing my voice 15 minutes into the show, we're in trouble. Maybe she needs to go to church with Justin Bieber. Do you think that would help her? She can go with Justin, Kanye, and Marilyn Manson. I feel like they could figure their shit out there. What do you think those church services are like?
They probably like sacrifice babies there.
Justin Bieber, Kanye, and Marilyn Manson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, this is this whole thing's continuing here, this immigration thing. This is just the hot topic right now. It's been blowing up. That's so as we all know, the Biden administration hired 88,000 new IRS agents, and they wouldn't commit to only auditing rich people with them. In fact, most people speculate, and the numbers we broke down on this show about a year ago proved that they hired these people almost exclusively to go after small business owners and middle-class Americans. Now, why would the IRS target small business owners and middle-class Americans, Mia, rather than the billionaires who may be cheating their taxes off for millions and millions of dollars? Why would they target someone who maybe has to pay a $10,000 fine? What do you think that is? What do you think the reason is there? Any ideas?
I have no idea.
Because they can't afford to defend themselves. The billionaires will draw it out in court and they'll fight you on it, and it's a whole thing. So they're not going to go after the people that might actually be able to pay a substantial amount of money, who maybe they're even cheating on their taxes a little bit. No, they're going to go after the guy who checked the wrong box that owns his own business and terrorize him for $10,000 because he'll just cave rather than fighting you in court. They're disgusting. They're scum, the IRS. It needs to be abolished completely. I'm not saying we do away with taxes entirely, but there's got to be a system that doesn't involve just the tax code needs to be simplified, and the system for how we collect money should not just be terrorizing middle-class Americans. Well, Donald Trump took those 88,000 IRS agents and said, hey, you guys have two options. You can be reassigned to the southern border and work border patrol, or you can hand in your resignation. If you don't do that, you're fired for insubordination.
Get
Those
that
are the
son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired.
Those are the options he gave them. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. It's about time, though. I love to see it. I love that none of these desk jockeys are going to take that, by the way. None of them. Well, and that's, you see these videos of the IRS agents going through training. And they train these guys with guns. Why does the IRS need guns? Why are they arming themselves with the teeth against the American people? They train these fat slobs that sit in office cubicles all day with firearms and do CQB training with them. And you know what? Fine. You guys want to be all tough against the 75-year-old grandmother who checked the wrong box on her taxes because her eyesight's poor. So be it. Let's see you go be tough with the Mexican drug cartels. Oh, you don't want to do that? Bye-bye. You can't get tough with somebody who actually fights back? Bye-bye, IRS scumbags. We'll see you later. Go get a real job. A real job that doesn't involve terrorizing middle-class people and old women and shaking down small business owners. You're filth. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Your mother failed to raise you, you scum. That's my opinion on everyone who works for the IRS. You know what would be the worst thing, though? Is like someone who worked for the IRS and then on weekends for extra money, they refereed Little League games. I can't think of something that's worse than an IRS agent / referee. That is the bottom of the barrel of humanity. It's below terrorists, pedophiles, KKK, you name it. You know, I have a theory, though. I think that the liberals are crying for these violent sex offenders like you saw Selena Gomez doing because they relate to them. I do. I think they see these criminals getting shipped off, and they're like, that's our voting base. What, they're shipping pedophiles away? I could be next. What's going to happen to me? That's what's the next video we have here? Oh, okay, perfect. Well, Donald Trump's called in the big guns to tackle this immigration issue. The big guns. We know Tom Homan, the border czar. We love him. But he's also called in another guy, a guy that some of you may know pretty well. A guy who goes by the name of Dr. Phil.
What's your name?
Seda.
Seda what? You have a first and last name.
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
You been deported before from the United States?
No.
Never been deported?
But I've been in the system before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been charged with
Charged where?
before?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not talking about lawyer.
Yeah. Are you a citizen?
My mom said that.
Dr. Phil just
Your mother's a
disregards.
citizen?
Yes.
But you're not?
Nope.
But you've never been deported before?
We Dr. Phil. We got Dr. Phil.
Yeah? How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right? We got an illegal alien convicted of sex crimes involving children, and he's walking the streets of Chicago. Again, the downfall, the problem with the sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents. This is what we're dealing with. Yeah. You've been charged with sex crimes with children?
Not really.
Not
Not
really.
really? And never been deported?
Nope.
Huh. Let's take them in, process them, lock them up.
Got it, sir. All right. Is it a transport vehicle? Working on it. Okay.
I love how Dr. Phil completely disregards the Miranda right invocation. I want to talk to my lawyer. Yeah? So what have you been convicted of? He's like, I'm not a cop. I'm a TV host. I'm doing an interview. I can ask you whatever I want. Now, a lot of people are upset about this. They're saying that the Trump administration is exploiting this situation by bringing Dr. Phil and a camera crew in. Oh no, the poor sex offender, the poor pedophile who's been convicted of abusing children. He's being exploited. Excuse me if I don't feel bad for him. Maybe he shouldn't have exploited those kids and they wouldn't have exploited him for clicks on YouTube. Sorry if I don't feel bad. Here's the reality though. They need to do this. They need to put cameras in these people's faces. They need to put cameras in their faces and expose who they are and why they're being deported. And the reason they need to do that is because there is a propaganda war in this country against the concept of law and order. And if we can show who these monsters are that they're going and getting, so that we can dispel the rumors that they're kicking in, church and school doors, dragging screaming children out and shipping them back in buses to Mexico, and it takes Dr. Phil to do that, then so be it. But we have to fight back. Otherwise, the left will win the media war. Remember, they still have the grasp on the dinosaur media in this country. If we stand by idly and just work in silence and don't have any type of media war on our own, or excuse me, any type of ammunition in the media war for ourselves, they're going to dominate it, and public opinion is going to change very, very quickly. And if it takes sending Dr. Phil and a camera crew around the country to round up these scumbags and show who, and interview them Chris Hansen style, and show who they are, then so fucking be it. That's what we've got to do. But we need to show people with videos like this that these are the type of monsters that the previous administration and liberal attorney generals and mayors and governors all over the country have allowed to roam the streets freely, that don't even have any business being here in the first place. This guy was on the street, untraceable non-citizen, sex offender. Could have went into the wind at any given moment and started over anew with a new name in a new city. Pedophile moved in next door to a school and you would have had no idea, right next door to your house. That's what they're going around stopping. That's what they're going around trying to put a stop to. And retards like Selena Gomez are crying over it. The poor, someone think of the pedophiles. How did you not think of the pedophiles?
I'm kind of retarded.
The poor pedophiles. All they want to do is rape women and children, and these monsters are deporting them. Think of the pedophiles. If you deport pedophiles, then who's going to vote for the Democrats in 2 years? Retards. Now, here's another video of sometimes people go too far, right, with this immigration thing. And I can't endorse every person and every piece of rhetoric that comes out on my side. Now, I want to show you guys a video from a couple years ago of a far-right extreme, borderline Nazi, far-right extremist talking about immigration. And I think he's gone too far on this. Go ahead and check this out.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
Until your VP took over. I know, what a monster. Look, maybe we should reevaluate our stance, guys, if far-right Nazis like Barack Obama were siding with us 10 years ago. Maybe we should take a step back and go, what are we doing wrong here? We're conservatives, but we're not that far to the right. He's as far right as they come. Full-blown neo-fascist Barack Obama, right? Here's my thing. Obama didn't, I had a lot of problems with the Obama administration. Immigration was not their worst policy. They didn't do a bad job with it. They didn't do a great job, but they didn't do a bad job with immigration. Barack Obama still is known as the deporter-in-chief, deported more people than any president ever, and it's not even close. Those videos of those kids in cages that they were showing around back in like 2017 to rile people up during the Trump administration, fun fact, those were taken during the Obama administration. That's why when Trump was debating Biden back in 2020 saying, who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages, Joe? The answer was, it was a rhetorical question. The answer was Joe. The family separation policy that the left is freaking out about at the border. That was an Obama administration policy. And you know what? Like I said on Wednesday, it was a good, or Sunday, it was a good policy. It was a good policy because these people come across the border, they claim to be these kids' parents, and you have no way of verifying that. So the so-called quote-unquote family separation temporarily separates these people at these checkpoints until they can figure out, is this actually your parent, or is this a human trafficker or coyote that's sneaking you across the border and going to do God knows what with you? Because believe it or not, that's a real problem in this country. I know that the official platform of the Democratic Party has been changed over the last couple years to say that human trafficking isn't real and doesn't happen, but it does, and it specifically happens on the southern border. So when they sit here and they talk about family separation, that's not, they're not these monsters who are separating mothers and children and ripping them apart and sending the mom back and letting the kid wander the streets barefoot in El Paso. That's not what's happening. If they can verify that you are actually, with contact with Mexican authorities, that you are actually that child's parent, you get sent back together. If they can't, they're going to detain them until they can figure out who the hell can come pick this kid up, because he's being brought over by a human trafficker who, in my opinion, should just be shot in the back of the head. No trial, nothing. If you get caught if you're a non-citizen who gets caught trafficking kids across the border and we can confirm you're not their parent, specifically if we can confirm there was sexual abuse going on, they should just shoot you in the back of the head and leave you in the ditch or the river gulf that you crossed over, so other sex traffickers can see what happens to them in this country. I think, Mia, would that be a reasonable policy, or do you think I'm going nearly as far right as Obama on this one? Am I drifting into Barack Obama far right territory here?
I think you're going to Obama territory.
I'm getting too I don't want to be like Obama. I don't want to be this raving, angry conservative here like Barack Obama. So I have to be careful. We got a couple more videos here. This is Donald Trump. So we've had some countries try to get some brass balls with him, and he has immediately caved all of them. Just flat out bully ball. Everyone, they fucked around and they were in find out mode just like that. Check out this video Donald Trump had to say, his message to these countries and their leaders.
I appreciated they took back that tough talk, but we may have tough talk from others, but it's not going to mean anything. They're going to all take them back, and they're going to like it too. They're going to like it. They're going to take it back, and they're going to like it. Today, I'm all.
They're going to take it back. Here's my thing, though. Why wouldn't they like it? Why wouldn't they like it? Because I keep hearing from the left and even these presidents of these countries what great assets these people are to our economy. So if they're such a great asset, why wouldn't you welcome them back with open arms? Why would you be so hesitant to accept them back? Why would you, like, if someone was when Tom Brady walked away from the Patriots, right? Went and won a Super Bowl the next year, and New England won like 7 games, right? If Brady decided, you know what, I fucked up in Tampa Bay, I want to go back to New England. Do you think New England would have welcomed him back, or would they have gone, no, we don't want you? Of course they would have taken him back, because you bring back people that are legitimate assets. When they walk away and they say, you know what, I screwed up, I want to come back, or they get sent back and they're an asset, you take them. There's a reason these countries, like Colombia, were willing to bring their economy crashing to the ground in a trade war to keep a couple hundred people out, because the people we are sending back are that much of a menace to society everywhere they go. These leaders in South and Central America, they're not stupid. They may be stupid economically, but they're not stupid on this issue. They know for a fact that if these people come back to their country, they are going to wreak havoc because they do not have the means to deal with them. These are the nastiest of the nasty. They don't want them in their country with good reason. But guess what? It ain't our fucking problem. So they're going back to your country. Sorry. Now, personally, I think this would all be avoided. I like Patrick Bet-David's idea. I don't like his painting in his thinking room, but I like his idea that if you're not in this country legally, if you're not a citizen and you commit any violent crime against an American, whether it be rape, murder, child molestation, anything like that, you get the death penalty. First offense. First offense. If you are not a citizen and you commit a violent crime against an American citizen, we just kill you. We don't even bother with deporting you. You just get fried or the injection or firing squad or hung. Or I'm not really picky. We just, as long as we take the trash out, we just kill you. And then we'd send the message that we don't play around like that. Stop coming here and doing this shit. Terrorize your own countries because we're not going to put up with it here. Do you think he came up with that idea in his thinking room? Where do you, I mean,
yes.
You think he came up with that idea? For those of you that don't know, Patrick Bet-David, who I like, I enjoy his content, I enjoy his show, I respect him. There is a video going around Twitter of a painting he has in a room that he refers to as his thinking room. And in the painting, it's him, a race car driver, Tupac, Murray Rothbard, the economist, the Shah of Iran, JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., and I think Teddy Roosevelt, and maybe one more person, and an empty chair debating a book, 2 books. And it's a little cringy. We'll leave it at that. My friend described it as a Michael Scott moment. We'll leave it at that. But again, I love his content. I think he has a good it's the only political podcast I'll listen to. Well, that and Piers Morgan, I guess. But it's the only political podcast I listen to regularly. And but that video is just like, oh man, Mia, let me know in the comments who would be in your painting, in your thinking room. Who would you put in who would be in the painting with you in your thinking room? Who would be in your thinking room painting?
All different Taylor Swift eras.
Just the Taylor Swift eras and you.
Yeah. Yes.
What books would they be debating?
Harry Potter.
The Harry Potter book. Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. No, it's
No, just Harry Potter.
Just Harry Potter.
Just Harry Potter.
Okay, well, they were debating 2. They were debating Atlas Shrugged and Communist Manifesto in his thinking room.
Harry Potter and Twilight.
Harry Potter and Twilight. I don't know who would be in my thinking room. Maybe I'll think about it and tell you guys, but I'll need to go sit in my...
Think about it in your...
It's a catch-22 because if I'm going to think about it, I need to go sit in my thinking room, but the thinking room's not complete until I have the painting. So how will I think about who needs to go in my thinking room painting if I don't have a thinking room painting to complete the thinking room? Do you see this paradox that I'm in right now? It is a dilemma. It is a serious, serious dilemma right now. I saw a tweet that said, that ICE is in Dearborn, Michigan. They're all over the country, by the way. They will find you. But I saw a tweet that said ICE is in Dearborn, Michigan, and they were telling people that this is what you voted for. Some liberal on Twitter, they said they're getting Muslims and Hispanics predominantly that are in the country illegally, and they said this is what you guys voted for. You reap what you sow. Hold on a second. I thought that illegal immigrants didn't vote. That's what I was told. I was told illegal immigrants didn't vote. So what do you mean they got what they voted for? Because as we know, both of those demographics, Muslims and Hispanics, shifted dramatically toward Donald Trump this year. Or last year, I guess. But I was told those people didn't vote. So what does that mean? This is someone who lived in this community telling people that they got what they voted for. So what did he mean by this? What did he mean that they got what they voted for? What do you guys think he meant? Let me know in the comments on YouTube and Rumble. That's, we got a couple more videos here, though. Just some quick ones. This is a video someone took of a doctor's office after these deportation rates. Also, don't you think let's pay attention here. Let's see how these next couple elections go. If they really carry out mass deportations, let's see how many votes the Democrats lose. And we'll get an answer to our question real quick. Okay, this is a video of a doctor's office that someone took that's normally full, so they claim. Go ahead and play it here.
En esta casa no existen fantasmas, son puro recuerdo de tiempo.
So this was after a series of ICE raids were conducted in the area. We don't know where the area is, but it was posted about a week ago. And this is exactly my point. This is exactly the point that I've made over and over again. If you want to look at part of the reason why healthcare rates are skyrocketing in this country, it's because you've got a bunch of people who are utilizing the healthcare system and not paying for it. They also weren't paying in to programs that assist low-income people who need help paying for their medical care. So you had these people that weren't in this country legally. There was no way to really track them. They'd show up to these doctors' offices and hospitals, get care, never pay it. The hospital writes it off, and then that bill gets passed on to you and me. So again, we were told, so again, you're seeing the effect right here. And I guarantee you're going to see it in your car insurance rates. They may not go down, but they won't rise nearly as quickly as they've been. You'll see it in your car insurance rates because you're not going to have a bunch of people driving around uninsured. So I guarantee that's just the economic strain goes beyond just taxes and crime, right? There's a lot of factors that unfettered illegal immigration play into, right? Look, housing's another one. We brought in 8 or 9 million new people over the last 4 years. Of course there's going to be a housing crisis. Of course rent rates are going to go up specifically in major cities. Also, we need to dispel this rumor, this myth, that all of these people that came over during the Biden administration are working on farms. Prior to the Biden administration, yeah, they were, but only 1% they estimate. This is the federal government estimates only about 1%, maybe a little bit more, are working on farms. Most of these people went to big cities. They're not working on farms. They're living off the government because these big cities told them, if you come here, we're going to take care of you and protect you from the big, bad conservative governors. So it just goes on, all of the negative effects that illegal immigration has on this economy. It goes way past crime and drugs, guys. It's way deeper than that. It fucks all of us over. This is a very interconnected society we live in, and there is a domino effect that's created when we start letting people skirt by the rules and make exceptions, or just flat out milk the system like this. Okay, we got one more video here from a Walmart. Go ahead and play this video from a Walmart that's empty. Empty Walmart. Okay, that's fine. Mia, when's the last time you've been inside of a Walmart? Just random, unrelated question.
I think the time I got Megan diapers.
So that would have been 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Megan was our dog. She was having a vaginal issue, discharge issue that needed diapers until she recovered from an infection she had at the time. Fun times. Yeah, that's so again.
No, I take that back. When we got socks before our trip to Tennessee.
What?
I had to get socks before our trip to Tennessee like 2 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know we went to Walmart for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had no idea. But that's another thing, is you're seeing videos of Walmart cashier lines being emptied as well. And we were told they weren't taking our jobs. They weren't taking jobs from Americans. Well, there you have it. They are. They are. We always knew that was a gaslighting lie. We always knew it was gaslighting and lies when they were telling us they weren't taking our jobs. We knew it was gaslighting and lies when they told us that they didn't commit crimes at as high of a rate as American citizens. We knew it was gaslighting and lies when they told us they paid taxes. We knew it was gaslighting and lies when they told us they didn't vote. It was all gaslighting and lies, because that's all the Democrat Party can do, is gaslight you and lie to you. It's all they've ever been able to do, because they can't stand up on logic. They can't actually defend their views, because most of them are indefensible and collapse like a house of cards the second they face any scrutiny. So they freak out, they gaslight, they lie, they change the subject, they resort to character assassination, and when none of that works, they just go to flat out censorship. That's been our lead topic. Stay tuned. We're going to Store Brand TMZ. We're going to have a little bit of